All right, good afternoon, everyone. We're going to call this meeting into order. Let me just pull up the agenda, and we'll see what our meeting agenda is going to be on today. I am so happy to see you all, and thank you for being a part of this great collaborative that we have. So let me pull up the agenda. So today, May 23rd, 2024. Our meeting will be during the time frame of 12 p.m. to 1:30 p.m. I just called the meeting to order. We're going to have a welcome done by uh, Lorraine Allen, and she is the booth manager. She'll introduce herself with Family Paths. Um, we have one of our uh, fantastic and great partners, Alameda County Family Justice Center, and Melissa Santos will be our showcase presenter on today. Our member expressions um, will be done by Mr. Ben Smith, who's the community activist, and then we'll do our awesome check-ins. I also want to let you know that I'm adding something else, and that is so you can be thinking, and I can put it in the chat. Um, During your check-in, we're going to do what's called challenge versus success. So you can share one challenge you are facing in your work while serving the community. One challenge that you're facing serving the community, because we all know that community is our first priority. And then also share one success your organization is currently proud of. You can share that information. And then if there's anyone that when someone shares a challenge, whether they're saying, you know what, my challenge is employment. If you are an employment specialist or your organization specialize in employment, please feel free to chime in and let your CAN member know that you can support them in some type of way. Because the main focus for the CAN is that not only uh, do we share information, but we're also in support one another, in support for one another. So at this time, I'm going to turn it over to Lorraine, and she's going to do the welcome. It's in your hands.
First and foremost, let me do this. Give you all a round of applause. Round of applause. And say welcome, welcome, welcome. Each and every one of you does your work with CDS in mind: commitment, dedication, and service. Therefore, you show up authentically you show up at the best that you can do, because the families and the communities we serve, they are depending on us to give nothing but our best, so that, like a throw out the boomerang, the best comes back to each person we touch. So let me ask you to do one more closing exercise. Stick your right hand out, wrap it around your left rib, left hand out, wrap it to your right rib, squeeze. There you go. There you go. You just gave yourself a hug. Thank you so much. And I look forward to seeing you all again. Again, stay YOU, your own uniqueness. Show up at your best so that you can be the difference in somebody else's life. Thank you so much. Otis, I turn it back to you.
Thank you, Lorraine, for that awesome welcome. I hope everyone feels welcome, because we are a family. That's why I call it the CAN family, because we are a family. We support one another. And so at this time, I'm not going to hold up the meeting. I'm going to turn it over to Melissa's hand with Alameda County Family Justice Center. Let's give her an applause.
Thank you so much, Otis. Hi, everyone. I am here with the Alameda County Family Justice Center. I specifically
Ain't that all day?
I'm the employment specialist here. So what I do is I support survivors of domestic violence. I also have my team member here, Claudia Hinojosa, who's going to help me with this presentation. And together we're going to talk to you all about the empowerment program and the Step Up and Step Up to Work program. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. All right. Can you all see that?
Yes.
Awesome. And then Claudia, if you want to introduce yourself as well.
Hi, everybody. I am the empowerment specialist here at the Family Justice Center. So my role here is to inspire, plant seeds, and create SMART goals. So thank you for having us.
Okay, we're going to move forward.
All
So
right.
today we just wanted to focus on a few things. Today's topics are going to talk about domestic violence, which is the population that we serve. Within our two programs, it is the community that we serve. Most of the folks that come through Step Up and Step Up to Work have some form of domestic violence. And so it leads to the question, what is domestic violence? Some of us may have different interpretations, but the definition that is given amongst different organizations is domestic violence, also known as intimate partner violence, is a pattern of coercive controlling behavior that can include physical abuse, emotional or psychological, sexual abuse, or financial abuse. So this means using money and financial tools to exert control. We'll move forward into the slides and we'll show the different types of abuse that do occur within domestic violence. And with that being said, I want you all to keep in mind, like when someone is going through this, they're being thrown all different types of ways. They're going through so many different things and it's a lot to handle. So as we are here at the Family Justice Center, right, we are a centralized place where these folks can come and get that support. And so that's what we're going to show you all. And as a team, Claudia and I, we meet these people where they are. So again, just some overall general domestic violence statistics. 1 in 4 women will face domestic violence and 1 in 7 men. There is limited information on folks who are non-binary, transgender, and things like that, especially men as well, because it goes unreported, so the stats aren't available. But men and women 18 plus in the US have been a victim of severe physical violence by an intimate partner in their lifetime. And 48.4% of half of all women and men in the US have experienced psychological aggression by an intimate partner. And 12 million domestic violence affects more than 12 million people every year. So that's a lot. And I do also want to highlight that domestic violence isn't solely a women's issue. It's not just a man and woman issue, it's an all issue. It's a human issue that impacts all our communities and it affects everyone that may be involved, right? It's a big thing. And so, Claudia, feel free to interject or
Oh,
share.
I didn't know
Please,
you were
I'm like,
on
it's
it,
you
on
and I
it, on it.
together.
So in talking to this scene, a lot of the work that I do in Step Up really is just talking to the individuals and seeing where they are in life. One of the tools that I use and I encourage everyone to use is the ASAM. The ASAM covers all the holistical points that a human person needs. That includes from medical to how they cope, to how they deal with their residents. It's a tool that I used when I was an AOD counselor, and I love it because it really identifies what's called the ready for change, readiness for change. And when you understand what that looks like, then it kind of lets me guide where they are. A lot of the people that come through the doors really have a piece of them where they're just trying to redesign themselves. They just don't understand what that redesign looks like. And in domestic violence, as a survivor myself, I can tell people it got messy for the first 2 years of figuring it out on my own. And then it took some time. You know, I've been working this domestic violence recovery life probably for the last 15 years. And it has been one, challenge after another. And so when she says it affects everybody, it really does. I think one of the biggest parts is shame. And, that's something that I always like to remind people, that one of the biggest things that I'm seeing coming through the door is a lot of professionals like myself who had to come through the door. When I stayed at the shelter, it was very embarrassing. I couldn't tell any of my colleagues. I had one colleague who said, "You don't even belong there." And I told her, I do. But again, it's making room for everybody. It's not just people who are like doing bad things, it's everybody. It's a communication style. So I want people to really be aware of that as well, because depending on how your abuser communicated with you, that's how you're going to come into our office. And you're going to communicate with such aggression. So, I always tell people, please be patient, be patient, be kind, be nice. Because you don't really know where their mindset is and how long they've been sitting with those problems. And sometimes people give up. And I've had people come in here ready to just throw the towel in. And what it's taken them to see themselves again, it's a beautiful process. So anyhow, I can go on. Melissa, let's move on.
And all of that being said, right, with what Claudia just mentioned, it always, sorry, I'm gonna try to hide this thing that is floating. Anyone can be going through any type of abuse. Domestic violence isn't just physical abuse. It's not just someone causing harm physically. It could be sexual abuse, emotional abuse. It could be stalking. Reproductive coercion is something that I personally, in my field of work, I've been doing this since 2016. It is a way that has been perpetrated. One of the many dangerous times for someone in an abusive relationship is when they are pregnant. And the reason why is because, again, like I mentioned, right, domestic violence is about power and control. And when someone is pregnant and they have a baby, that the attention of the person that is the victim, the survivor, that attention is being taken away. It's something that is not often talked about, but that is also a type of abuse. There is financial abuse. So that is someone collecting that person's paycheck. That is someone that is handling their bank account and is not allowing the person that is working hard for that money to see a dime. That is also something that we here at the Family Justice Center, and Claudia will touch more on that, we unlearn those things, because some people that come through our doors may have never even had physical control of their paychecks. They may have never been able to buy something themselves with the money that they make. And that's something that we really try to highlight. We try to highlight the little nuances of domestic violence that aren't often talked about. Digital abuse. Digital abuse is a huge thing. We're not talking about them, but in teen dating violence, this is a big, big thing. I have worked with every demographic that you can think of in my field of work. I've been doing this again since 2016. Digital abuse was the main way that teens are being abused. And it's something that I wish was talked about more, but this is just planting little seeds so that you all can learn more about this and be intrigued. And then there's sexual coercion as well. So with all of these things being said, it all falls under the same umbrella, right? It's domestic violence, it's intimate partner violence. It is violence that is perpetrated by someone that is in an intimate relationship with another person. And so with all of this being said, let me go back. There's always barriers to leaving. Claudia, I'm not sure if you want to add anything else or just move on.
I did want to add, when it comes to the Step Up, it is really a financial literacy program for domestic violence survivors. And the reason, I like to keep it at its lamest term, which is very clear, because what ends up happening is people say, "Oh, well, come do financial literacy. You'll be here with us. We're amazing. We have all this stuff," but you don't know that they're a survivor. And while you're in the middle of training, they completely break down because they just watched their whole career fall apart. Hence, I did that in the library. And it was very embarrassing. It was very traumatic. It made me not want to be around anybody for a long time. And so when I tell you that, I tell it to you because I want you guys to know that if you have somebody that is identifying as domestic violence survivor, please send them our way, because I guarantee you there's some work that they need to do that they don't even realize needs to happen. And it can't happen in AOD. It can't happen in like other therapeutical settings, because our role is to talk about money, emotions, how we roll. And sometimes we make poor choices because we're emotionally charged. Not a lot of places provide space like that for domestic violence survivors. Me and Melissa both have had years in this. And because of that, we can hold a really honest space for them. And when I tell you honest, I mean, it's as real as it gets. So, and I just want to remind that, because sometimes as providers, we get so caught up in our service and our models and getting it done that we forget, is this really impacting them, or are they just a number on our roster and we're just showing that we can do something, but is it impacting them? That's one of the reasons I chose to be in this type of field, because as a survivor, I realized a lot of people got disconnected to the service, and it became about service models instead of client focus. So that is one of my biggest focus, is client focus. And did it impact them? Is it real?
Thank you. And so again, with all of this into consideration, it's not just easy for someone to leave. You'll always hear, you know, in different settings, well, why didn't they just leave? Well, they didn't leave because, again, like I mentioned with the paycheck, they may have never been able to have access to the money that they make. They might not be able to leave because they have these societal images that they need to upkeep. There's so many different things that we as providers don't know. We don't know what they are going to when they leave our offices. Our days end at 5. The survivor's life does not end at 5. When they're done here, they go back. And sometimes it's not easy to leave, and it's not easy as just telling them to pack up and go. The most dangerous, and when I say dangerous, I mean lethal, life-threatening time, is when someone's trying to leave. And again, it goes back to that power and control. They are taking back that control. And if someone's taking that control that has been abusive towards them, they're going to be like, how dare you? And they, you know, cause harm. So that's what this is really focusing on. With Claudia and myself, we meet that client where they are. So they might need housing support. So what do? We reroute them to our navigators. We reroute them to our in-house services so that they can go and get that support. And little by little, we help create that plan to get them out. There are so many different nuances that go into just leaving that we as providers really need to continue on more education about what that looks like. Again, this might be the first time that you all are looking at this, and this might be the 100th time you guys are looking at this. But people change, and there are different things that always come up as a barrier for someone to just completely leave an abusive situation. Claudia, I'm not sure if you want to add anything else.
Yeah, and just one thing, when it does come for those that are fleeing, understand they also have families, and sometimes it is very challenging for a mom or a father or any parent or guardian to uproot the children from those spaces, because then you get into family law. And I had a wonderful dance in family law for about 7 years. So I always tell people, be kind to our mothers and fathers and parents who are going through the court system, especially if they're in family law, because there's an expectation of behavior. And usually the abuser, who knows how to rattle the other person, rattles them usually right before court. So it becomes a very, a big issue. So they show up very disoriented, unable to present for themselves. I can speak to that personally. And so one of the things that I do in the group is I teach them coping strategies, so that when they have to face their abuser or be in the room with them or deal with court cases, they know how to check in inside so that they can speak clearly of their true needs and not running it through an emotional channel. So that's big for me.
Mm-hmm. Thank you, Claudia. Yeah. And to touch on a point that Claudia mentioned earlier, right? Someone's goal might not be to leave. It might just be to be able to have their own paycheck in hand. to be able to find a job, to have sustainable housing, to know how to budget a limited paycheck that they may already get. You know, it's not what we want, which is to get them safe. It could also just really be, how do we keep them safe while they're returning into their home? Like I mentioned again, too, little by little, step by step, that's how we get things done. And we meet the clients where they are. We are never here to tell them what to do or give them advice, because at the end of the day, I'll speak for myself, it's not my life. You know, I am also a survivor of domestic violence, and I love telling this story because when I was going through it, I was a domestic violence counselor. Every day I would clock in at 9 a.m. and answer calls and take people's calls that were going through abuse while I myself was going home to that. And so I was telling people, you know, how to keep safe, but for me and myself in my situation, it wasn't something that was feasible for me. And so on average, it does take 7 attempts to completely break away from an abusive relationship. Again, it's not just as easy as leaving. So we'll go ahead and go forward. And so with all that being said, the reason that we are here is to talk to you all about some programming that we all do here at the Family Justice Center. And this particularly pertains to the impacts of domestic violence in the workplace. And I really like this video. It's only a minute long, but the impact is what really got me and why I wanted to show it to you all today.
Work can be hard for all of us, and some of our colleagues are carrying burdens we don't even know about. These burdens can impact the workplace in different ways. More than 40% of American adults will experience some form of domestic violence in their lifetime. In the past 12 months, approximately 1.6 million women and 848,000 men missed at least one day of work due to domestic violence. Domestic violence has very specific impacts on the workplace and might be a heavy load on your employees or colleagues. Harmful partners often target or sabotage a survivor's workplace. This is a form of economic abuse. Many survivors are let go after continued interference or disruptions from an abusive partner, or prevented from working at all because of the impacts of abusive behavior. A recent survey found that on average, survivors lost more than $7,000 in income or wages due to intimate partner violence. However, workplaces can respond to domestic violence and lighten the load. Trauma-informed management styles, empathetic coworkers, safety planning, and violence prevention and education are important tools for building safe, resilient workplaces and supporting employees and colleagues to do their best work and live their safest, happiest lives.
Okay, I love that little video. I highly recommend checking out Futures Without Violence. I will send all that information to Otis. They have an amazing resource guide for anyone that is, you know, wanting to implement more things in their workplaces or in their personal lives pertaining to violence and domestic violence. So to move forward, we just want to leave you all on a happy note. I know domestic violence can be really hard. It can be a very difficult topic. Again, we all know someone that knows someone that knows someone, right? So it impacts us all. And so our whole, you know, objective for today is to plant the seeds for you all to at least be able to know a little bit more, and also to just plant the seed of knowledge, right? So that you all will be able to, maybe if this is something you want to learn more about, you go and you do that research, right? You can do the 40-hour domestic violence certified training. These are things that you all can look to do and to advance if this is something that interests you, right? And so Claudia, I'm not sure if you want to add anything too.
We've been talking about resources and different types of support. And I guess the biggest part and the biggest takeaway I would love people to have is to understand that domestic violence exists in every community, at every tier, and to just be kind to one another. That's big. Just be kind to one another so that we can get through the process. And if you see a coworker that seems to be struggling, check in.
Thank you. And so we here at the Family Justice Center, we're located at 470 27th Avenue in Oakland, California. I'm like, did I put 47th Street? I get those confused, but we're on 27th Street. We're at this building. It looks just like this, but we are here to support. The Family Justice Center has been open since 2005, and there are 25 on-site partners and 30 off-site partners. What that means is that we have a community here of folks that understand the trauma-informed lens, right? There are partners that are in the domestic violence field, that are in the sexual assault field, that are in the human trafficking field, and we all come together and we support and provide services to clients that walk through the doors. We are open 5 days a week, Monday through Friday, 8:30 to 5 p.m. Walk-ins and calls are available. And we also do have staff that speak different languages. And then the biggest piece is that all these services are free. People can come in and speak to a navigator. I didn't go too in depth about this because I do actually have an additional training that goes into the services that we offer here at the Family Justice Center that I will present to you all if you're interested. But we have a system here, and that system starts with the client being referred to walk through the door. If there's an advocate that has the capacity to go with them, they can wait in the lobby. The Family Justice Center, there is one, I believe, in all over the nation, and we're lucky to have one here in Alameda County. And so with that being said, a few of the programs that we offer here through the empowerment program is our Step Up. So I will let Claudia take that over and share more about what Step Up is.
So as we talked a little bit about Step Up is a model of curriculum that breaks down into 3 classes of empowerment, 2 classes of financial education, and then a couple group classes with employment, and then wrapping it up with final empowerment classes. That's the model. But the reality of it is a lot of the girls can't sustain the schedule because there's a lot going on. So the way I approach it is really through a holistic approach. I really touch bases with the whole part of who they are, and then see if the referrals that they receive from navigation have actually been met. And we work within all the partners here in any ongoing programs to make sure that as that safety plan is being created, that it's created with an impact. And what I mean impact, for me, impact is key. So if it's not making a change in your life, it's not making it easier for you, then I'm not doing my part. And so for me, I really do take the time with the participants to do a lot of transparency and interpersonal relationship building. And we all know that is trust. And that is big for me. So anybody that I send my participants to, it's built on trust. Everything that I do with them is built on honesty and trust, because I don't like to mislead somebody, and I don't like to hold space for somebody to make them think it's one thing when it's something else. I like to give someone space to just show me what they need. And sometimes all they need is food, a gift card, and I'll see you next week when I can think about what I really need. And then next week they come in and they say, I was able to take that worry about food and I was able to put gas in my house. Now can we talk about these smart goals? And it's really just ripping the layers apart a little at a time. And so Step Up really allows this process to happen naturally in such a way that the girls themselves don't recognize it until they sit with me. We talk about the bigger picture, and then they see their own growth, because they have to see it. And so part of it is journaling. It's part from the beginning to the end. So that way they actually have I was talking to myself like this in the beginning, and then I have them reflect at the end. How are we today? And that's how they themselves identify their impact. It's not about, impact is very different. So that's the biggest part when it comes to Step Up. And after the goals are created, and I feel strong that this is a good model for them that they can actually maintain, they go to Melissa.
Thank you. And I do want to use that peeling the layers analogy, because that's exactly what they do when they come to Claudia. They are working on what step do I need to take in order to get to my ultimate goal. And once they've done that, you know, they come to me, which is Step Up to Work. And with that is we get them employment to at least try to combat or like try to accomplish and succeed one of those goals, right? To make sure that if they need money to put gas in their car, things like that, like, okay, well, if you're not driving right now, let's see where we can get you placed where you can take public transportation. Let's connect you to an internship. Oh, okay, you want to go to school. So those are kind of like the networks that we work, right? And I really also want to highlight what Claudia mentioned is the trust and communication. The reason that I myself really wanted to be in this CAN collaborative, right, is to get to know all of the other service providers that are in the community. Community is a big thing. Community is what helps not only ourselves flourish, but our clientele flourish. We are helping people get connected. And if I know someone that is working somewhere and I'm like, hey, is there any internship opportunities there? Are you all hiring? That's the kind of approach that I take with my program. I myself have gone to the job fairs with my clients, and we've luckily had a few clients that were able to get that ball rolling then and there. I have one client that successfully joined the Rising Sun program, right? Where when she came to Claudia and she had no idea where to go. But when we worked through those goals, we were able to get her somewhere, and she completed the Rising Sun program. Now she's on to doing construction work. We have folks that were connected to the Bread Project that are now launching their own entrepreneurial bakeries. We have folks that are being connected to all of these amazing community organizations. And I just don't want us to be siloed, right? Just because we do work with domestic violence doesn't mean that we can't connect folks with other things. This is something that I have seen when I go to these job fairs, right? Where I'll go and I'll introduce myself and I say, I work with survivors of domestic violence. And because it's such a heavy topic, people tend to go, oh, well, thank you so much for all the hard work that you do. And I'm like, but we all do hard work. We all help people, you know, we all build community. So I really want to step away from siloing the demographic that we support. And I hope that you all are more interested in learning more about what we do. I also put Kid Zone. So anytime that any participant who has a child comes to Step Up or Step Up to Work or any of the other programs, we have Kid Zone. And Kid Zone is a kind of like a daycare that we have up in our Family Justice Center. It's only for when the participant or the client is looking to meet with other community members here in the building so that the child is separated from what is going on. Because mom or dad may be talking about something that's very difficult and we don't want the children to be in the room. And with Miss Blanca, they have an amazing opportunity. You know, I've had kids where they come in and I'm like, okay, let's go up to Kid Zone. They're like, oh, okay, with Miss Blanca, like they're very familiar with it. And they're very separated from that stressful environment. And the parent is able to really hone in on the services and the needs that they really need. And we're able to give them that privacy for the child and the parent, because oftentimes the children are forgotten. But here at the Family Justice Center, we understand that they also need their own safe and engaging space. And that's what they go do at Kid Zone. Claudia, I'm not sure if you want to add anything else.
No, I think you covered everything really great, you know, and I really appreciate all the information that you're sharing in regards to our service model. I really love the idea of community. So I'm really big on that. And so I really appreciate Melissa because you ever get to work with someone who sees the work the same, and then you guys can like tackle it and have fun while you're doing it. Well, I found her.
Thank you. You too. We're a team. So just know that when you are sending someone here to the Family Justice Center and you talk to them about Step Up, they're going to come with us and we'll be able to support them with the help of our navigators as well. And our staff is amazing and that we'll be able to take care of them.
And one more thing before we forget. I just want to remind you that we're also programming for Spanish speaking folks as well. That is a demographic that's been kind of there and not there. And I come from Mexico, so I know the difficulties of trusting the court and running through that system. I can say, had I had a version of me out in the world, maybe I wouldn't have got lost for so long. So on the 31st, we're going to be having a domestic violence education for undocumented individuals who've been impacted by domestic violence and what are their rights after being impacted by domestic violence. Melissa will be sending that information to Otis so that he can go ahead and send the information. There's no registration requirement. It's just showing up and attending. And we're going to try to do these at least monthly and in different other languages. I am working on a safety model to bring a little bit more awareness of what financial NDV, how it plays together. So keep an eye on that, but we are starting to open it up for different languages because the barriers are real.
Yeah, one of the challenges that we are having is helping our undocumented population. I also support the undocumented population, but as you all know, if they're undocumented, finding them a job is nearly impossible. So we try to look through other avenues to try to get them connected, and that's where Claudia's informational training or drop-in for the clients is going to come into play. A lot of times our immigrant population feel that they cannot report if they're being abused. But thank you so much for adding that, Claudia. I will be sending that out to everyone. And this is just an additional thing. We do also hold a domestic violence focused collaborative similar to this one, but it's only for domestic violence. If you all are interested in joining that or to learn more, please feel free to email me directly. We are also holding a job fair in July. I will also be sending Otis all of that information, and I'm going to be having a DV 101 and employment training. So all of the information that I kind of went over at the beginning, I'm going to go over more in depth and how it impacts employment for survivors and how we as folks who are hiring and providing employment case management can better support those who are going through it. If you're interested in that, you can go ahead and click this link, or I will also be sending that out to Otis. But with that, we are complete. All of our information is down below in the corner. Thank you all so much for being an amazing group. And yeah, that is all.
Awesome presentation, Melissa, Claudia. Seeing Dr. Moore is on the line. Man, you guys, Melissa, you blew me away. Great job. At this time, Q&A. If anyone has any questions, just, react with your hand raised, and they'll be happy to address any questions that you may have. And you guys were very thorough.
Yeah, great
Very thorough.
presentation. Thank you.
Thank you all. Please feel free to ask any questions or email us privately if you would like. We also have our executive director here, Carla.
Can I just add something? I just want to throw out, I'm Carla, I'm the executive director for the Family Justice Center, and I just want to add that we're having there's National Gun Violence Awareness Day is every first Friday of the month of June. And this is going to be the second year that the Family Justice Center has honor that day, and so we're going to be doing it again on this time. Is going to be June 7th. Some of our community partners will be here tabling and providing resources. We're going to be providing lunch. I will share. Melissa, is it okay if I share the flyer with you, and then you can share it out? It would be nice if you guys could participate. I know Be a Mentor participated last year also, and so we have some different partners that are going to be there at the event, and lunch will be provided.
Awesome. Nice meeting you, Carla. So when I come over there, you guys, I won't be a stranger because I've been working with Claudia and Dr. Moore. Dr. Moore with you guys, right? Is that?
Yes. Yes. She is our associate director. So we have two associate directors at the Family Justice Center. One that oversees empowerment.
Okay.
And then the other one that oversees all the crisis work, the initial crisis work for clients that come to the building.
Yeah, maybe we can Aisha, Lorraine, and I can come through and you guys can do a tour. I mean, I just love it. I mean, you know, I'm it's wonderful. Believe it or not, I'm a victim of domestic violence about 15 years ago. I had a stalker, and you know, it just really brought back some emotions and feelings when I was watching the video. So I'm in the presentation. So I really appreciate you guys supporting the CAN very, very much. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Come over. Probably the easiest way would be to maybe reach out to Melissa and set up,
Okay,
and we can set up a time to schedule a tour.
awesome. Sounds good.
Thank you so much for sharing us. That is wonderful. You know, we are very proud at making sure that we cover all demographics in this. So thank you so much.
Awesome. All right. Well, next we're gonna have our member expressions, and so I met this gentleman about 6 years ago at the Alameda County First Five Fathers Corps. He's very active in the community. He does a lot of different things, and he's a strong supporter of the CAN. So we're going to have him share some expressions right now about his experience with the CAN and how beneficial the CAN has been for him. So here you go. You got the platform, Ben. Mr. Smith.
Hey, how you doing? Yeah, so matter of fact, I'm over here in my vets organization, Swords of Plowshares, and over here on Franklin and 4th Street. But it's great to be able to go to one place and be able to get all your services and stuff done as opposed to having to run all over the city. Once the brother Otis told me about this program, I've been trying to promote this month. It's just as heavy as I can to as many people in the community because we all need this. You know, I'm trying to bring more people in. I know Boss said that they're going to start coming in, and I got some other organizations that I want to tap in with you guys because we should have one place where we know the people are really trying to do something for the community and they're really trying to make sure it's matched together. And we need to also, as we do what we're doing, make sure we support each other. Even if we don't go to the events, we should tell the people in the community about the event. So this is a real great place that I really enjoy being able to share, learn, get knowledge about different things. And like that last presentation, that was great, and we have presentations like that every week. You learn what people are doing. How many places do you get to go that people actually learn what's going on with the organizations? Most of the time you ride by and you just see a name on the wall. You don't know what the heck it is. But here we're able to give people an opportunity to learn what's going on so we'll know exactly who to point the finger to and say, hey, this is the organization. Then we get the name too. Oh, this is the person you go talk to. Like the sister just came on, Sister Carla, go down there and talk to them. They'll take care of you and it'll be all great. So I really appreciate CAN being here doing the things that they're doing for our community. And we I wish we had 4 CANs. I wish we had them, all over California. So everywhere you go, you could just touch down, oh, we about to have a meeting in LA. Let's go to the CAN in LA and help them promote our stuff. So yeah, I hope we have a lot more of these. And I'm appreciative of Family Pass for bringing this our way, especially in our community. So yeah, that's what my shout out, my expression.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate it tremendously. Also, I'd like to say, please utilize the CAN event link. The CAN event link. I know we're sharing the listserv, but also I normally say this to people: if you create a folder, just put CAN on it, and then when the emails come through, just slide them over into that folder, and then when you have time, just go back and look. Because I got an email the other day, and someone asked me, was anything going on this weekend? And so it's like, we're constantly sending out information. I know it's a lot of information going out, but if you either go to the event link, you can see what events that individuals have added or what we may have added. But then also when we do the listserv, you can, if you have a folder, you can just go in there and look at upcoming events, because I send them out. I send the events out as they come. So some may be, usually I try to get events that's the same week. Sometimes I get events that's going to be 2 days in advance. I try to get those sent out as quickly as possible. So just get you a folder, and you can go back and research the events as they come up. So with that said and being said, we're going to start our introductions. So, we always start our introductions by go down to the reaction, and you can do the hand raise, so that we know that we reach everyone in the when we do introductions. Did you have anything, Aisha, to say before we get into the introductions?
Yeah, definitely. Thank you, Elder, for the space. I absolutely love the presentation. I love the can. I love it particularly because, like you all shared at Alameda Family Justice, I build a relationship with trust. And I don't want to send, and I'm not going to send my clients that have a lot of trauma just to anywhere, right? I need to have a name. I need to know what your process is. I need to know if that's a fit. And I like the case conference with folks. I like to see, maybe it's not the time. Maybe they don't have the capacity, right? All those things. And so I like that you guys shared that you do that as well. And that's why I like the can, because I get personal. I get your spirit, I get your energy, I know your name, and I can feel like I can say, hey, this is, I can reach out for my client or on their behalf and that kind of thing. So thank you for sharing that. Thank you guys for the space today. And I love the can too. That's for that.
Yeah, I shared on folk, and I'll get your hand, Marilyn. Oh, I'll get you, Marilyn. We did the 4 Cs event this past Saturday. We supported Alameda County 4 Cs, and I'm gonna tell you, it was a great feeling for me to walk around and see 6 organizations that's a part of the can that I can go over and mess with Etel, or I seen Tolo from First Five. The Family Justice Center was there. I just love it. I love the camaraderie that we have, and it builds strength. It shows strength. It shows unity. So as many of you that can, try to get other people on board to understand what the movement is all about and what the difference we're trying to make in the community. So with that said, let me just tell you my challenge and success. My challenge is probably not being able to service everyone that I would like to service. Infrastructure and then also having capacity. But my success is the working with Aisha, with the Parent Advisory Collective. She'll go more into about what her program offers. I would like you guys to refer some clients to that program. It's a support system for parents. And then the can is very excited about the can, and then just Family Paths and the work, the healing that we are doing. I know we had had a problem. We wasn't receiving no walk-ins, and I was able to refer a client over to the Family Justice Center. So I didn't have to scratch my head and try to figure out where to go, call 211 or whatever have you. When you have that direct access, I was able to email Claudia, and she was like, yeah, send them on over. Bam. That's what the can is all about. So with that said, I can talk. I'm going to be quiet, and we're going to start the introductions.
One second, Otis.
Go ahead.
Marilyn had her hand up.
Uh-huh.
You're good, Marilyn? She may be on a call now.
I put my hand up because I have to wrap right on time, and I want to go early. So,
okay. You're perfect.
Go ahead. It's on you.
All right. Okay. So my challenge is I sound like this because allergies are kicking my butt. So do not have COVID. And then I start coughing. So I'm trying to take all my meetings from home, which I'd rather be able to go on site. So cross your fingers for me. I have a meeting with a client this afternoon. Hopefully I'll still be able to talk. And just balancing project management with actual project production is my challenge this week. And then the success is we were at that event on Saturday. It was our first time there. Oh my goodness, there were so many people. It was such a great event. And I had a high school volunteer with me. I'm trying to, because we're a pretty small team, so I'm trying to utilize high school students who are interested in possibly going into psychology, becoming therapists, give them the opportunity to volunteer and support our organization. So it's not a formalized program yet, but it's something we're hoping to formalize a little bit more. So it went well. She was great. So.
And what's the name of your organization, Marilyn?
Eden Counseling Services.
Okay.
And I am a resource and development manager. I do case management and administration and resource gathering. So glad to meet all of you. This is my first meeting, so nice to
Awesome.
see all of you.
We're happy to have you. Like I tell people, there's no big I's or little U's. We all are. As long as you're serving the community, that's all that matters. So thank you. We're happy to have you a part of it and get the word out. Okay. All right. Who wants to go next? Okay. Let's see.
Can I go next?
Go ahead, Barb.
Hey everyone, happy Thursday. I know I have to get out at 1 o'clock too. I just wanted to once again thank Can. Just every time I'm on, I walk away with new knowledge and connections and the opportunity to connect with new people. So thank you all. My success this week, we are continuing to expand our presence. I mean, we're getting the word out that, you know, you don't have to go to Palo Alto to receive great care at Stanford. That you can go right there in Emeryville, Castro Valley, and Tri-Valley. So very excited about that, and that the community is, you know, reaching out to us as we're, you know, doing that big push, of course, into the community about who we are and what we're about. And folks are following back up with us. So very excited about that. My challenge is I was out for 2 weeks. So Marilyn, I'm going to just share with you, if you haven't gone to the doctor, go to the doctor, because I usually do. I didn't. And it took me down for about 2.5 weeks. What you're talking about, the cough and all of that took me down. So if you can go. So my challenge is really just trying to continuing to move forward, right? And catching up. So that is my update today. Also, last but not least, we've got Yvette Torres on from Stanford Tri-Valley. She's new. This is her first Can, so please welcome her. All right.
Awesome. Nice seeing you.
Good to see you.
Awesome. Who's next? Etel.
Sorry. Oh my goodness. Yes. So again, Melissa, Claudia, I love you. You know how much I love you for so many reasons. So El Tímpano has been going through a lot of changes, really good changes. We're growing. So this past month, this whole month of May, for the last 2 weeks, we've been having a challenge because we switched from our SMS platform to one that can hold a lot more. Now we are serving almost 5,000 subscribers through text messaging, which now we can also do voice messaging for folks that are not so fluent in reading or can read as fast or don't know how to quite navigate texting someone back. They can now leave us a voicemail. We can now add flyers for anyone that's looking for a job fair, community fair, summer camp programs, all of those flyers that we get from all of you wonderful organizations. We are now able to attach them to the text message that we're sending. Now, that being said, it's a whole new system. So getting used to it and navigating through it, man, oh man, I feel like I'm back in junior high learning how to like type. I don't know what this button does. I don't want to erase 300 subscribers trying to send them a job fair flyer. But again, it's just showing that we're growing, that we are really getting to the families in the palm of their hands, that we're connecting with great organizations like the CAN, that provides all these great services. So that also turns into the success of it all, why we do what we do. Again, El Tímpano has been around for 5 years. Now we have some super fans or super subscribers, which this summer we're starting our ambassador program. It's kind of like a promotoras and volunteer. We have been able to get a little funding from last year, and hopefully in June, when we do a big push for a grant, we can actually have the money to pay stipends of $500 to these ambassadors to be the ears in the community. Because again, I'm not going to be able to be there and then at that time. But if somebody sees something and wants to communicate it to the greater community, they know that they have a trusted source with El Tímpano to come and share what's happening and get information back that is vital, especially during the time of elections, when a lot of misinformation goes out, a lot of fear mongering, a lot of things that are happening, not just to our immigrant communities, but in general. We know we're going to be seeing some of that. So big success, big challenges, but all in all, it's one side of the coin to the other. And again, I wouldn't be able to do this without being in community with you all. When I go and visit each other's table and I give you a hug, I'm really feeling like your family, and I hope that you feel the same way too.
Awesome. Thank you, my friend. I'm going to pass it on to Bianca and then Ben thereafter.
Hi, everybody. This is my first time joining this meeting. I'm from St. Vincent's Day Home, where I'm the Director of Development. And one of the challenges well, first of all, let me say, this has been a great experience. Thank you, Otis, for inviting me to this. I know it was last minute, so I'm happy I was able to make it. And one of the challenges that I've been personally experiencing this week, my daughter graduated from middle school yesterday, so I took the day off. I'm in the middle, thank you so much. I'm in the middle of planning a golf tournament that's happening next month, and I've just been really trying to gain visibility for our organization. You know, I don't know if you are all familiar with St. Vincent's Day Home, but we've been around since 1911 in West Oakland. We provide services to families. We provide early education for children ages 2 to 6. We have a licensed kindergarten, and it's just a really awesome place. So if any of you ever are in the neighborhood and want to stop by, we love to give tours and just show the magic of St. Vincent's Day Home. But yeah, so I've just been trying to get support for this auction and raffle by going out into the community, knocking on doors, just trying to drum up some community support. And it's been going fairly well. I would say I contacted about 30 places locally in Oakland, and so far I have about 7 items. So I'm pleased that it's working well. It just takes a lot of time and footwork. But one of the things that I'm happy about is today I was able to confirm with Aisha and Otis that we will bring Family Pass to St. Vincent's Day Home to provide a training for our parents and caregivers, because this year especially, we have seen that parents just really need support with children, you know, developmentally. There's just been a lot of new things since COVID that we have to, you know, deal with in terms of behavior and development. So I can't wait to have you, Otis and Aisha, here next month and provide, you know, the knowledge to our families that services like Family Pass do exist. So thank you very much.
How you doing? This is Ben coming. And I just wanted to send a shout out this time to the Fatherhood Initiative for Alameda County, as well as the Fathers Corps for the first 5. You know, those 2 organizations that I tap into. I do a lot of that stuff. So now I joined the organization that's the Araminta Ross Foundation. So she's doing bailouts. So she does, she did a Mother's Day bailout program. She's going to do a Father's Day bailout program. And she's still, you know, doing bailouts for the other organization for mothers that are being incarcerated, that's being held over. So those are that's the newest stuff I'm doing. I'm still connected with better neighborhoods, same neighbors. And, my position mostly is to make sure community-wise that we all know financially what's going on with our money. So I sit down with people and explain their Social Security, their 401ks, their IRAs, help them get plans, sending kids to college, retirement, things of that nature. That's what I specialize in, along with the things I do with the community. So that's pretty much what I got going. But remember, Fatherhood Initiative is a program that it's like we got a Cafe Dad that we meet every second and fourth Wednesday, and from 5 to 7, and we just discuss things that dads need to know to be dads, and dads need to know to support each other and their kids and stuff like that. So don't forget about the Fatherhood Initiative. All right, thank you.
Awesome. Ben, do you have information on the bailout? If you could forward me some information, that'd be great, that I can share with the CAN.
I sure do. I get maybe a flyer or just our information for a website.
Okay, sounds good. Dr. Moore, are you able to say hello? I know you look like you're driving.
I am able to say hello. Thank you, Otis and the CAN Network for inviting me, and actually my team, Melissa and Claudia, are part of the empowerment team that I have the privilege of supervising for at the Family Justice Center. So I think it was previously stated, I'm the associate director there. I'm pretty much over the programming aspect, and empowerment falls right up underneath that. And as you can see, my team is stellar. So I'm just here in awe and in support of their efforts and the efforts of CAN as well. So hello to everybody.
Well, you one of my champions, so I mean your whole team, but Melissa, she blew me away today. I mean, I've interacted with you and Claudia, but Melissa, she's something else. I might have to try to bring her onto our team. But no, great. I'm happy. We don't roll like that. No, I'm just happy to have her a part of the CAN. We don't roll like that. So
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah, that's just giving her the kudos and the accolades that she deserves. Claudia, what you got to say, my friend? Hit that button. You know where it's at. I know it's hard on the phone. Are you on the phone? You can just shake your head.
I am. My system doesn't play well here. So yes, I am on my phone. Yes. So I guess for me, the fun part of my day is always programming. I am a program head, so I can be a little annoying because all I want to talk about is program. And the exciting programming that I'm doing right now is for the undocumented, and I'm really excited about that. Especially because I really want them to know what it is to be a survivor in America and your rights, and that in America, we don't have to be okay with being mistreated or mishandled as people. So I really am excited about what comes next and what the Family Justice Center is going to bring for 2024. So I'm here for it. And the hardship for me, the hardship is that I drive from Antioch.
I've
been building programs in Contra Costa pretty much my whole tenure out there. So I have the pleasure to come play out in Alameda County. So I want to thank those that have remained and making space for me and allowing me to be part of this, and then working with everybody, because I will reach out to you. I do send people to Otis. I'm all over the place. This really reason is because these clients deserve more. And I will push because they deserve, this community deserves a warm love and a warm hand, and we're here for it. And that is my biggest thing when I come here. I come here with the intent of giving love, impact, and creating programs. So let's keep doing the work, because that's really what I'm here to do.
Thank you. Well, it's my pleasure to have you in the presence of the CAN and as well as myself. So thank you for the work you do. And we're looking for some greater things as we move forward as a unit. Jasmine, I see you have your hand up. You're next.
All right. Thank you so much for hosting these. Just like Ben said, I wish we had four, 5, 6, 7, 8. These are great groups. I learn a lot through the short time that we spend together. Some of the challenges that we face out in the community are still, sometimes people don't know what kind of coverage they have. So when they think about Medi-Cal, they think it's like, oh, okay, it'll cover me if I go to the HR, but it won't cover dental. It won't cover all of this. And what happens is that people, they prolong the time that it's necessary to get care. So that's one of the barriers that we're continuously breaking down. And one of the successes that we have of our organization that we're currently proud of is that, we have team members that can attend these meetings, and a lot of people are running nonprofits, part of nonprofits, and they don't know. So one of the things that I really wanted to do is share with those and water those organizations just as they do to us. And I feel like we are flowers. I remember when I was invited to this meeting, was right before I left on maternity leave. And now, I've grown to really, really appreciate the group. It's very warm and welcoming, and this is all virtual. Imagine if it were in person. I can just imagine all of the hugs and all of the networking and building relationships. So for that, I thank you all.
And the name of your organization, can you share with the team?
Yes, of course. It's Bay Area Community Health. We are in Fremont, but we serve northern, all of the southern Alameda County, but feel free to send people our way. Thank you all so much.
Yeah, Bay Area Community Health, huge organization. I started out with them supporting when you were called Tri-City.
Yeah, we've changed a lot. Actually, next month is going to be our 4th birthday per se since we merged. But part of merging, it's allowed us to have a lot of growing pains, but with that comes a lot of learning and stepping stones and milestones that we've been able to accomplish alongside of our partners.
Awesome. Well, we're glad to have such a great organization, a part of the CAN, and just with your colleagues, friends, community supporters, tell them about the CAN, share the flyer, or if you can have them email me. I'd be happy to share information. Okay. I know you all have busy schedules. A lot have signed off already because of the time. I think everyone got spoiled on that 1 hour, but I would be sitting on pins and needles, and I don't think it was fair to our presenters to have to rush. So I like the 1:30. Those that can stay on, those that can't. All right. With that said, I'm going to adjourn this meeting. I'll see y'all out there in the community.
All right. Be safe out there.
Bye.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
All right,
so
have a good
much.
one.
Enjoy the good
Peace and
weekend.
love.
Bye. Peace and love.
Bye.